the Showreel. I'm Jacob Paint.
And I'm Marc Petzke. As always, in today's episode we will have the news and movie reviews. But first, I would like to introduce our special guest, up-close illusionist Josh Norbido. Now Josh, I hope we didn't have you waiting too long in the guest room.
Oh, it's okay, Mark. The green room's a little bit small. I just kind of got a bit of a twinge on my neck, but it's nothing I can't fix.
Oh, nice. So how did you decide you wanted to become an illusionist?
Well, it's interesting because, not everyone just decides they want to be a magician. They just pick that. But luckily I had an influence from a young age. I think the first recollection I remember of seeing a good magician was at a restaurant. A magician came up and he performed some magic and he made some objects float in the air. Really blew my mind. So I think that sort of sparked it, and it's just on from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the projects you're working on at the moment?
So at the moment, I'm working on some stage shows. A lot of my work at the moment has been close-up magic, which is going around to groups of people. It might be at a wedding or something like that. But right now I'm working on a show for Halloween, actually. So it's a bit more spooky, a bit more eerie, and a bit scary. So it should be interesting.
And what sort of advice would you give an illusionist that's starting out?
Yeah, someone starting out, a good idea that I hadn't learnt of for a long time is that there's a lot of magic clubs in each city. Each city normally has a magic club. So here in Brisbane, the one we have is called the Gold Coast Magic Circle. So advice I would say is to go and find your local magic club. If anyone lives in the Gold Coast or Brisbane, the one that I go to, you can go to their website, which is www.gcmc.webs.com. And you can always find where they meet up locally.
And there isn't some magician's code you have to know to get into this club, or?
Yeah, you might have to show that you're there for good reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Bring
it's not
a
like
trick.
Hogwarts where you have to be able to run through a wall. It's a bit leaner than that, yeah.
So what's this, you've got a music and magic project that you're doing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, something new that I'm working on. So before I focused on magic a lot, I used to be really passionate about dancing. Well, I still am, but a lot of hip-hop dancing. So I really want to try and merge the two sort of professions together and create something new. So it's a project I've been working on. Hopefully I'll be showing it later this year. And
cool.
It's quite different.
What are some of the things involved in that? Is it a dance performance? Is it magic?
It's almost like a story. So you have music playing, and the idea is that it's very theatrical, and the music will be playing, and I'll be doing like a lot of isolating to the beats while producing roses and doves and things like that.
Sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting. While trying to keep on the beat. So
yeah.
I can show you guys later if you want.
I don't think I've seen anything like that before. So
I hope not.
Excellent. So what are your some of your inspirations to performance? I know you've delved in a little bit into your dance background, but what are some of the inspirations you've had for performances you've come up with, or new stuff you're doing?
Yeah, when I first started, when I really started researching illusionists and magicians and people that perform a lot, I used to get a lot of my inspiration from them. So there's a magician that mainly only magicians know of. His name is David Stone. He's a French magician. Really nice and elegant, really pretty magic to watch. But now I think my inspiration comes from other things. So a lot of dance shows or dance routines I'll watch, I get ideas how I can sort of add my magic to sort of enhance that.
And I guess that's how you set yourself apart from other magicians, whereas if you're just being influenced by past magicians, then...
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of magicians, we try and not let that happen, because it's very easy for magicians to recycle magic that someone else does.
Yeah, walking through the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing that. It's, whatever.
They should start charging for it. It happens so much.
Do you think your brand of illusionist will, I guess, inspire a younger generation to get into doing magic? Because magic has had that, stigma of the nerdy kids at school and their magic tricks getting bullied by kids like that. But this music and magic performance scene's very forward-thinking and modern, and you know, has a very cool element to it.
Yeah, I try and definitely keep it modern, because there definitely are some, not people, but there's definitely some acts that, you know, maybe not suit the younger generation as much now.
Bit too cheesy, or like for kids.
And all kids love their music, so
Yeah.
I figure if I can show them some cool magic that, you know, blow their minds, and to music, should be.
Do you think you do you have aspirations to be a role model for other people to get into, you know, combining music and magic together?
Well, I always
you're
think
a bit of a pioneer for that.
Yeah, I mean, they're two different disciplines, you know, so it is rare that one person will learn, you know, a few disciplines.
Yeah.
So maybe not necessarily to, you know, create a generation of magic and music people, but maybe for people who enjoy magic already that do something else, I'd like to inspire them to start incorporating other things they do that really shows who they are.
How long have you been doing magic for?
So I've been doing magic professionally for 3 years. Before that, all my studying and researching was probably like maybe another 10 years before that. I think it's something everyone just sort of builds up to a point, and they're like, hang on, you know, I can do this for a living. I don't have to just practice at night.
I think a lot of people, when you're a kid, there's at some point you think, oh, I'd really like to do that magician after you've gone to see someone, whether you follow through with it or not. Yeah,
absolutely.
And where do you get, like, how do you learn your tricks? Like, do you make them up yourself? Is there, do they give you secrets of the Magicians Society, giving you like tips on how to do magic, or?
You have to go to Hogwarts first, like I was saying before. I passed that. But other than that, so when you're in a Magician Society, you know, they can sort of direct you in how to learn the tools of the trade.
Is there like some basic skills, like basic tools you can kind of use to start building, incorporating tricks like misdirection and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. Depending on what type of magic you want to do. Close-up magic that I do does involve a lot of misdirection and different types of things, a lot of energy and that sort of thing. So yeah, you do have to learn a lot about how people react to when you do certain things.
Yeah.
All right. So after the break, Josh will give away all of the secrets. No. All right. Well, after the break, we'll come back soon with Josh and more Showreel. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Showreel. Afonso's Cuarón space thriller Gravity set a new record for a box office opening in October, with an impressive $55.6 million. It is also a box office opening record for both its stars Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. The critically and now commercially successful Gravity is now in cinemas. The BBC have reportedly found at least 100 lost Doctor Who episodes in Ethiopia. The episodes featuring the first and second Doctors, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, were sold by the BBC in the 60s, and the originals were lost or wiped. They've now turned up in a studio in Ethiopia. The BBC have been tight-lipped about the discovery, but the find will hopefully be a welcome addition to this year's 50th anniversary celebrations. And finally, the Brisbane 48-Hour Film Project 2013 Awards ceremony is on tonight. Area 31 Productions' film A Day in the Death is nominated for 6 awards: Achievement in Special Effects, Makeup and Hair, Best Original Score, Achievement in Screenwriting, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actor in a Leading Role, and Best Use of a Character. Good luck, guys, and that's the news.
Join us for the Trick or Thread Show, coming to you on October 26th.
Go to mysteriousproductions.com and we will see you there.
That was a small preview of what to expect at Josh's Halloween show on Saturday the 26th of October at 17 McLaughlin Street, Fortitude Valley. Tickets are on sale on his website, which is on the screen, or you can go to Josh's Facebook page, Facebook/Josh Norbido.
Now, here is Josh to perform some of his magic.
Well, I thought I'd go with something classical. Everyone likes a good card trick. But I like to think of these cards as like my assistants. So Mark, do you have a favourite card?
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts? Oh, I should make sure I have a Queen of Hearts in there. That'd be a good start for a magician. But any reason why you chose the Queen?
Just roll off the tongue.
Good, okay. So a normal person, well, a person that spends a lot of time with cards would shuffle like this. Yeah?
Yep.
Can you just demonstrate that for us? No, I was just kidding. But if I want to find your card, what I need to do is just get my assistants to act accordingly and shift around a little bit, and hopefully Queen of Hearts. That's pretty interesting. So I try to find a way to use that to my advantage, but sometimes I can put as much work into my assistants as I need, but it just won't go accordingly. So I built a little device here that I'll show you guys to help me with my magic. So what we'll do, Jacob, so I'm just going to drop the cards like this, and at some point just say stop, okay? So give us a try, so just say stop when you're ready.
Stop.
Stop there. So have a look at your card, and you don't have to show me, but you guys can see it. Now just hold it in your hand like that for 1 second. Face down, yeah. So I have no idea where that card is, but if I use my secret device, just like that, you can see it was a Jack of Diamonds. I think Jack of Diamonds?
Yeah.
It was right. Oh, that's good. So that seems like, it's pretty impressive, right? But to tell you the truth, I'm cheating. And the way I'm cheating is I have this device here. So you know what this is, right?
Say it's a computer.
Close. It's actually an X-ray machine, portable X-ray machine. So in here, you can always see the film. So I've reset it so that you can do it again. You can see the film. It's blank right now, right? So let's try this. I'll leave it there for a second, but we'll try again. So this time, Mark, you say stop this time.
Yep.
Okay.
Stop.
Stop there. So just put your hand out. This time we won't look at it.
Yep.
Just the other way, so you can keep it on your hand.
Yep.
Yep. So right now you can see the film is empty. All I'll do is just wave it over your hand. So just give me a second. And you'll actually be able to see that now you have an X-ray of Mark's hand. I'll take it out so you can actually see that. And so it's a 5 of clubs. So now I could actually bet you that it would be 5 of clubs. Have a look. Obviously, the 5 of clubs.
5 of clubs.
Yeah. So they're on sale as well for $1,000. Go to my website and no, I'm just kidding.
Is there any broken bones in there, or?
No, you're right for now. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I don't need to take that to my doctor.
Yeah, actually, if we can do it again, I just want to hold the card up here. I need a CAT scan.
Yeah.
Might not pick up anything in there.
Maybe later. I don't want to pick up on any thoughts you don't want read out. So.
Cool. So, tell us a bit more about this show you've got in October. So how did you come up with the theme of Halloween? What drew you to that?
Yeah, well, I really wanted to try a different area of magic, like in performing wise. So I thought it'd be really cool to do a more serious type piece. So this is it's still entertaining and funny in parts, but it's a bit more eerie and stuff like that.
Any blood and gore?
Yeah, there's a little bit. One of the magicians in our show, he's going to put a sword through someone's neck.
Yeah.
So be there for that.
Have to wear protective goggles to watch that one.
Yeah, well,
be a bit of splatter.
Yeah, we got it worked out. So
cool.
So the show's only on for one night.
Yeah.
In case.
And where do people can people just go to your website and get tickets?
Yeah, absolutely. So mysteriousproductions.com is my website. The tickets will definitely be on there. It is limited seating because we want to keep it as close as possible.
Yeah.
So you're really up close to the magic, and so you're in the spray zone for any
Cool.
blood.
So definitely people get in early and get their tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't miss out.
Awesome. Well, we have to say goodbye to Josh today, but thanks for coming on the show. Been very entertaining.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Mark.
Josh.
Thanks.
Well, we'll have to take another break, but we'll be back in a few moments with this week's reviews. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Showreel. This week, Mark reviewed Ron Howard's latest film, Rush. But first up is my review of the Italian film Cosimo and Nicole. Let's take a look at the trailer. Cosimo and Nicole is an Italian film starring Riccardo Scaramaccio and French actress Clara Ponceau. The story follows two star-crossed lovers that are completely carefree, following the wind wherever it takes them. Starting in France, we see the extraordinary way the two meet, and their boundless love is established through their mutual disregard for others, and that staple of European cinema, the sex scene. They then say goodbye to their French bogan family and head for Italy. They become friends with a concert organiser who later employs them in Italy, and soon after, their lives take a turn for the worst. There is an illegal immigrant, moral dilemmas, some more sex, and as you would hope for such a movie, their love is finally put to the test. From the outset, the story is interwound with interview clips of the two lovers separately telling their story. It's not explained why they are detailing their story in such a way, or even who they are talking to, although it seems apparent by the mood and setting that they have gotten into trouble, and this might be some sort of official record. Ultimately, it's just a tool to narrate the story while reminding the viewer that things are going to turn sour at some point. I like to go into movies with only as much info as I need to get me through the door, and I went into this simply knowing it was an Italian romance starring a pretty French actress. Yes, based on that, I'm not sure why I was there, apart from being in the mood for something a bit different. But Cosimo and Nicole turned out to be a romance with a bit of an edge, generally trundling along at a decent pace while confronting the characters with moral questions about things outside of their relationship. How they deal with these issues is the heart of the film, and this integrates nicely with the other very topical social issues that are explored. All of the performances were strong, and the cinematography was, for the most part, pretty good. Cosimo and Nicole ended up being quite a satisfying and enjoyable film on all fronts, and I guess on at least half of the behinds. 3.5 stars. The Italian Film Festival runs in Brisbane until the 22nd of October. If you're keen to see it, there are 2 more screenings of Cosimo and Nicole at the Palace Cinemas in Brisbane, both at around 4 on Sunday and Monday. Now it's over to Mark with his review of Rush, but let's take a look at the trailer.
From Academy Award-winning director Ron Howard.
This is an incredible battle.
Based on a true story.
To be a champion, it takes more than just being quick.
2 rivals.
I can beat this guy.
Driven by one desire.
Just give me the drive. You have to believe it to make it possible.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Rush in cinemas September 13.
Rush is based on the true story of James Hunt and Niki Lauda, who are both chasing success as Formula One drivers. The movie follows the rivalry of these two drivers, who are both very talented but complete opposites in the way they approach life and racing. James lives life on the edge, taking a lot of risks, using his good looks and charisma to get him what he wants. Niki is very calculated, never takes more risk than he has to. The story follows the battle between the two drivers to claim the World Championship, while also delving into their personal struggles. I came into this movie with high hopes, being a big fan of Ron Howard's work, and he certainly delivered with Rush. It is visually amazing, the racing scenes left you on the edge of your seat, and the story kept you enthralled. I felt Chris Hemsworth really proved that he is more than just the God of Thunder. He nailed the English accent and owned this role. I think there is big things to come for Chris Hemsworth after this performance. His co-star Daniel Bruhl was equally impressive, making an extremely entertaining rivalry between these two leads. I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and I'm not a big car or racing fan. I give this movie 4 stars, definitely a must-see.
Yeah, well, so I saw the trailers for Rush, but I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, and I've heard mixed things about it.
Well, I came into it, I guess, thinking Chris Hemsworth, he's been a bit of a neutral actor, like he hasn't really done anything that shows, I guess, any kind of emotion or anything outside of this, glorious steed of a guy. And this wasn't that much of a stretch, but it did show some of his vulnerability and diversity as an actor. It's still very typecast to, being the hot guy who gets the girls, but I was very surprised by the way he took on this character and did such a great job. I think he has a lot more talent than he's given credit for, and I think once he's given some roles that are a little bit more, I don't know, I guess a little bit more edgy or something a bit outside of his comfort zone, I think he's going to be, a force to be reckoned with in the future.
Okay. Yeah, well, at my screening, the actress Clara Ponceau, she was actually doing there for a Q&A afterwards. So that was interesting to hear her talk. She actually learned Italian just for a couple of weeks before starting the movie.
Yeah.
And,
I guess it'd be hard to tell whether she's actually has a good Italian accent and whether, not being Italian, you'd probably have to get an Italian critic to tell you whether her performance was actually great. But how did you find, did she, even through the language barrier, did you find she emoted the role?
Yeah, I thought they all did a very good job, and she was very good. So it'd be interesting to see what comes of her. Someone asked her whether she had ambitions to go to Hollywood, and she said, well, she doesn't speak English, so Hollywood's not going to come to her.
Yeah.
Although she did mention that she's done a photo shoot with David Lynch, so whether that leads to something.
Who knows?
It's I think French actresses are normally better in French films, as far as I'm concerned. Like Marion Cotillard and people like that have kind of been wasted in Hollywood.
Yeah. And what do you think the main difference between say the Hollywood structure and the European structure of films that you've found?
Well, I guess European films are a lot more free in certain things that they depict. I mean, obviously there is all the sex and whatever else that carries on in them, which is just normal for them.
Yeah.
And she was probably a little perplexed at all of the questions about that aspect of the film by an Australian audience.
I guess the Australians are renowned for being a little bit, I guess, reserved than other cultures, and especially compared to Europe, things like nudity and sex as well. But do you think this is a type of film that would reach a not so open-minded Australian audience, or do you think you need to come in to this movie with an open mind?
No, I think it's very accessible in many ways, and I mean it's subtitled, but it's not one of those really dense language films. The actors are very emotive, and you sort of get an idea, even if you watch the trailer and it doesn't have subtitles, you get an idea of what's happening. I'd recommend watching it. For anyone that's interested in especially Italian films, if they can go and catch it before it finishes.
So one of the other great things I really liked about Rush was a lot of these movies, they have like a villain and a hero, and there wasn't really a definitive villain or hero, even though they tried to make Niki Lauda's character the less likable character. You end up, you see both sides very fairly, and the way they live their lives are very different, and the way they approach things is very different. But in the end, you just go, well, they both stuck to what they enjoyed doing, and they stuck to themselves, and they didn't back on their own morals. And it was just really interesting, especially the way it ends. I don't want to ruin it, but you didn't really feel like either of them lost, and that they both, I guess, dealt with their lives, and they were happy, doing what they wanted to do, even though their approaches were very different.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Thank you to Josh Norbido for being on the show.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. See you next week for more Showreel.